Hello and welcome to Easy English with Vlad, the place where you can learn English through stories and improve your listening and speaking skills. Today I will tell you a story about success and motivation. It's a story about how small steps, strong will, and patience can change everything. As you listen, try to understand the meaning, repeat new words, and feel the message of the story. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin. Our story starts in a small town in the countryside. There lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was 20 years old and he worked in a small bakery owned by his uncle. Every morning he woke up at 4 a.m., baked bread, and delivered it across town. His hands were always covered in flour, and his clothes smelled like fresh bread. But deep inside, Daniel had a dream to become a successful entrepreneur. He wanted to build something of his own, something that would make people's lives better. At night after work, Daniel watched online videos about business, motivation, and success stories. He didn't have money for university, but he had curiosity and determination. One evening, his friend Liam said, "Daniel, you work too much. You'll never be rich baking bread." Daniel smiled and replied, "Maybe not today, but every big dream starts small." Those words became his secret motto. One day, Daniel noticed something. Many people came to the bakery early in the morning for coffee, but there was no cafe nearby. He thought, what if I make a place where people can drink coffee and eat fresh bread together? He talked to his uncle, but his uncle laughed and said, "Daniel, people here only buy bread. Don't waste time with ideas." But Daniel couldn't forget the thought. He began saving small coins every day, one by one, for his dream cafe. It took him more than a year to save enough money to rent a tiny place. When he opened his small cafe, only 3 people came on the first day. On the second day, 5. On the third day, none. Daniel felt sad and wanted to quit. But then he remembered something his mother used to say: "Success doesn't come to those who stop. It comes to those who keep walking." So Daniel kept walking. Daniel decided to make his cafe special. He started offering free samples of bread, friendly service, and warm smiles. He talked to every customer as if they were his best friend. Soon people started coming not only for the bread, but for Daniel's kindness. One day a woman named Mrs. Carter visited. She was a food blogger with thousands of followers. She loved Daniel's cafe and posted pictures online. In just 1 week, Daniel's cafe was full of customers. The smell of fresh bread and coffee filled the air. Daniel worked harder than ever, but he was happy. His dream was starting to take shape. Then one morning, disaster came. A storm hit the town and flooded the cafe. The oven broke, the chairs were ruined, and Daniel lost almost everything. He sat on the floor of his cafe, surrounded by water, and cried. He thought, maybe I'm not meant to succeed. Maybe my uncle was right. But then he remembered the quote on his cafe wall: "Every failure is a step toward success." He stood up, wiped his tears, and said to himself, "I will start again." Daniel posted about his story online, asking for support. To his surprise, many people from the town helped him. They donated furniture, helped clean the cafe, and even brought food. Daniel learned something powerful that day. When you help others with honesty, people will help you back. After 2 months, Daniel reopened the cafe, bigger and better than before. He called it New Start Cafe. The cafe became a community hub. People came to share stories, laugh, and enjoy life together. Daniel even began teaching free classes about small business for young people. One of his students asked, "Daniel, how did you stay motivated when everything went wrong?" Daniel smiled and said, "When you believe in your dream, failure is just another lesson." Soon, local newspapers wrote about his success. He was invited to speak at schools and events. Daniel's dream had come true, not because he was lucky, but because he never gave up. Years later, when people asked Daniel the secret to success, he said, "It's simple: patience, kindness, and hard work. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going." He told his story everywhere, in schools and interviews online. And every time he finished with these words, "Don't wait for motivation. Create it. Every small step counts. One day, those steps will lead you to your dream." So, my friend, what can we learn from Daniel's story? We learn that every dream starts small. Failure is not the end. It's part of learning. When you help others, success comes naturally. And most importantly, never stop believing in yourself. If you ever feel tired or lost while learning English, remember Daniel's story. Learning a language is like building a cafe brick by brick. Every word, every sentence, every day you practice, you're one step closer to fluency. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that help you learn English through listening. In the next episode, we'll explore another inspiring story. So keep learning, keep listening, and keep believing in yourself. Because every word you learn brings you closer to success. See you next time. And remember, small steps, big dreams.